How are you doing, yogis? As I've told you, have started teaching Yin, and I love Yin because, oh, by the way, I wanted to show you my t-shirt, my sweatshirt. My godmother sent me this, and this is all the places that I've lived: London, New York, Paris, and Milan. I'm going to New York, maybe at Thanksgiving, and to Paris and hopefully London over Christmas. So I'm very excited to go back to those places. Milan, I have no idea when I'll get back to Milan, but hey, can't do everything. So what I want to do today is I want to share with you part of the yoga sequence, the Yin sequence that I taught my students last night at my 8 p.m. Yin yoga. So I love Yin because I danced for many, many years, and I've always been very active in my life, and I have injuries. I'm young, I'm in shape, I'm healthy, but I have some injuries, and they kind of, oh, piece of hair there, ooh, annoying. I have injuries that have come up again and again in my life and that cause me pain, and I notice they'll kind of come and go. You know, I'll hike one too many times and ooh, it starts to be painful, and it really is right in my hips, in my glutes. That's where I feel pain the most. It's right there in my hips, and a lot of people probably feel that too. You know, it's the biggest joint in the body, and we hold emotions there. It's known for storing emotions. So to me, Yin is very important because it's where you decompress. It's where you truly allow your body to relax. I didn't understand just how important Yin would be for me until I began practicing it and now teaching it. And I notice how as I'm getting older, those injuries that I let go at one point are still there. And I don't want to live with pain. I don't know about you, but it's not comfortable and it's not healthy in the long run. So you really need to work against storing that pain and holding on to it, because essentially it comes down to letting it go. And these pains, it might sound silly, but they become kind of like old friends, kind of like old grudges, things, emotions that you know, that are familiar, that you're comfortable with more or less, even in the uncomfortableness of it, you know, even in the discomfort of it, it's comfortable because you know it. And that is something that occurred to me recently. I thought, you know, for years I've had this pain from an old injury, long time ago. And it comes up again and again and again. And it gets painful when I'm driving and when I'm even walking sometimes. And this isn't really how I want to live my life. So I realized that Yin was going to be my best friend in this. So enough said. Let us begin in child's pose. We'll take a wide-legged child's pose. So you're going to press one big toe over the other. Open your knees a little wider than your mat. Lay your belly down in between your thighs and rest your head onto your mat. Stretch your fingers forwards. Spread them wide. Allow gravity to take over. Allow your belly to sink down toward your mat. Roll your forehead from one side into the other. And back again. Massaging out any tension, any wrinkles and frowns that you may be holding there. If you need to readjust, Just readjust yourself and spread out once again. Allow your hips to sink down further toward your heels. If your hips aren't touching your heels, no big deal. You can shift forward, but you want to make sure that you have contact between your forehead and your mat. Maybe you need a block to sit on. Maybe you need a blanket under your head. Breathe deeply here. In Yin, we hold poses for up to 5 minutes. You want to be as still as you can during each pose. Slowly walk your hands back in toward your chest. Take away your blanket and your block if you used one. Keep them on hand nearby. I'm just going to step out and get a watch because that's an important part here so that we know how long we're holding each posture. Come back down to all fours. Shoulders stacked over elbows, over wrists. Hips stacked directly over your knees. Take an inhale, drop your belly, look up. Cow pose. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, cat pose, round your spine. Press your belly button to your spine. That should feel good. And come back to a neutral spine. And lift your right leg straight out behind you and stretch your left arm straight out in front of you. Toes point down toward your mat, fingers spread out wide. Take an inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale, round your spine. Press your elbow to your knee. Inhale. Exhale, round your spine. Elbow presses to your knee. And replace your hand and your knee on your mat. Other side, lift your left leg straight out behind you. Right arm stretches out. Inhale, lengthen forwards. Exhale, round your spine, crunch it in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And replace your hand and your knee back on your mat. Press your toes into your mat and press back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Press into your right toes and into your left. Spread your fingers wide. Find your downward facing dog. Feet are hips width distance apart. Your heels are hiding behind your toes. Press back. Stretch out. We'll move into a runner's lunge. Inhale, lift your right toes high. Exhale, swoop your foot to the outside of your mat or to the outer edge of your mat. And now drop your left knee down. Now here's where your blanket might come in handy if you have one and you'd like to pad your knee. Set yourself up. And gently feel it out. Maybe you'd like to lower yourself onto your elbows. Place a block underneath your forehead. Don't worry so much about alignment here. If your right foot starts to roll onto its side and your right knee starts to open up, that's okay. Just let that happen. Should feel pretty good here. Breathe deeply. Stay focused, stay present in your practice. Notice what's happening in your body. So I want to roll onto my right, the outer edge of my right foot, and my knee wants to open up. So I'm ready to kind of sink down a little bit lower into this posture. That's okay. I'm ready for that. I'm not pushing, I'm not in pain. It feels good to me. So notice how your body is feeling. Maybe you're ready to do the same, but maybe not. Maybe you want to stay right where you are. I want to be mindful of being too open, of being too flexible and bendy. So I'm just going to gently press my right foot back into my mat. Because I'm working on strengthening rather than flexibility. I need to be strong in my hips so that I'm not flexing too much and injuring myself further. Breathe. But it still wants to roll, so I'm just going to let it roll. That's what it wants to do. And that's too much, so I come out. But I do everything gently, mindfully. I first started practicing yoga in London, and I did Bikram, hot yoga, which was really great for me. But I soon noticed that if I did too much of that, I was actually not healing my injuries because of the heat. I was deceptively flexible. So I decided that while I loved hot yoga, it was good for me in moderation. And even now, I teach in the heat a lot of the time, 4 times a week. But I don't practice more than once or twice in the heat a week. Allow yourself to sink a little more deeply into the posture. Are you holding anywhere? Can you let go a little bit more? Slowly walk your hands back in. gently onto your left side. Take your right leg back behind you. Find a tabletop position and just stretch out your right leg. Bring some organic movement into your right hip so it feels nice and juicy, organic breath to movement. And come back to all fours, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left toes high. Exhale, swoop your left foot to the outside of your left hand to the very edge of your mat. Drop your knee down to your mat. If you need the cushioning that you did on the other side, find that. Scoot your blanket underneath your knee. And lower on down. Again, in Yin, we're not so worried about alignment here. So this is too much for me on this side. So I'm just going to come out and stay upright here like this. But in Yin, we're not so worried about alignment. It's more about easing into the posture slowly but surely, taking plenty of time. Breathing in, breathing out. And I'm ready to lower myself down just a little bit by bit, taking time. Allow your belly to relax. Try not to hold tension in your belly. Breathe deeply. Allow that left knee to roll open if that's what it wants to do. And slowly walk your hands back in toward your chest. Roll onto your right side and unwind your left leg. Come to all fours. Gently stretch out your left leg, open up that hip. Find some organic movement that feels good. And come back to all fours. Press it back, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, side out. And walk your hands in toward your feet. Take hold of opposite elbows here for ragdoll. And just sway gently from the right and to the left. Back again to the right.
And to the left, and nod your head yes. And shake it now. Press your weight forward into the balls of your feet. Imagine you have a rolled up towel in between your hips and your belly. So there's a little space there. Feel that nice stretch along the backs of your legs. And imagine all the worries and anxieties and fears that you've been carrying around in your head, turning over in your mind, just toppling out onto your mat. Take another inhale. Exhale, let it go. Release your arms. Walk your hands back out. Find downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale, shift forward to a high plank. Hold here. Feel your core engaged and strong. And exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. You'll keep your hands directly underneath your shoulder blades. Zip your legs up together behind you. Press the front of your feet down into your mat. Now inhale, peel your chest off your mat. This is Cobra Pose. See if you can take your hands off your mat. Inhale, lift up a little bit higher. Exhale, lower all the way down. Right ear to your mat, gaze to the left. Arms along by your sides, belly Shavasana. And your chin comes back to center. Walk your hands in front of you and now spread your fingers wide. Stack your elbows underneath your shoulders for Sphinx pose. Your forearms are planted into your mat. Allow your legs to become soft. Try not to let your shoulders hunch up around your ears, but keep them soft and relaxed. Allow your belly to drop. We'll just hold here. I like this pose a lot because I feel like it stretches out my belly and my stomach. And it encourages gravity to take over, to allow my belly to really let go. And I like that sensation of it being held by the ground, held on the earth, contained and yet relaxed. This is also a nice release for the lower back. If you spend a lot of time sitting at a desk or driving, you can get very tense in that lower back region. This is a nice way to decompress. If this becomes too much though, you can just lower yourself all the way down. Lay your forehead on the backs of your hands and just rest here. Breathe deeply into your belly. Imagine you have a string attached in the middle of your chest and someone is pulling you forward. Your chest and your heart are reaching forward. The back of your neck is nice and long. Your buttocks are unclenched. Your glutes relaxed. Your calves soft. Your feet are also soft and relaxed. Holding and breathing here.
Close your eyes if you'd like. Notice if you start to hunch your shoulders up or if you start to crunch your lower back. Just stay nice and long and easy in this pose. Keep breathing. Stay present and focused within your practice. Try not to hold in your legs or in your belly. Just relax, let go. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down, opposite ear to your mat, arms long by your sides, belly Shavasana. Just rest here. And your chin comes back to center. Press yourself up. And we're going to flip onto the back. So with 2 blocks, ideally, I only have one. So I'm just going to use one. And I'm going to take my blanket and fold it up. So what I want here is I want support for my head. And I want support for my lumbar spine. So it's sort of the place in between your shoulder blades, ladies, that's your bra strap. So you take your block horizontally, lay it down just in between your shoulder blades, and place your other block, or in my case, a rolled up blanket, underneath your head, and allow your legs to just stretch out onto your mat. Or you can take them to a diamond pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Your arms are long by your sides, or you can place one hand on your belly, one on your heart. Readjust your block if it doesn't feel quite right. Make sure that you're nice and comfortable here. If your block is too low, it will cause some pain in your lower back. So make sure it's right up in between your shoulder blades, that your head is resting easily. This is a nice heart-opening posture. What I like to imagine in this pose is that I'm like dough, like pie crust that's been rolled out and kneaded and worked. And now I've just been draped into the pan. And I'm totally relaxed. It's draped over my blocks, heavy and soft. Feel a gentle rise and fall of your belly. Just resting here, allowing your heart to open, your shoulders to melt away, the skin on your forehead to be soft, your jaw unclenched. Breathing easily. Deep breath in, deep breath out. If you're anything like me, you have a tendency to hold your breath, so I have to consciously remind myself to breathe. So keep reminding yourself. Deep inhales, big exhales. Gently remove the block from your head and from underneath your back, and lie all the way down on your mat. Draw your right knee into your spine or into your chest. Hug it tightly around your rib cage in toward your armpit. Inhale, hug it in. Exhale, supine twist on the right. Guide your knee across your body. Scoot your left hip more to the left and allow your right hip to fall further to the right. So you're getting a nice full twist here. Your right arm opens out to a T or to a cactus, and you look to the right. Just breathe. If your knee is not touching the ground, you can always use a block. Use props. Props are great. Just prop a block underneath your knee. And look to the right. And gather your knee back into your chest. Left one comes up to meet it. And just rock side to side to equal out your spine. Now your right leg extends onto the ground. Pull your left knee in around your ribcage in toward your armpit. Inhale, hug it tightly. Exhale, supine twist on the left. Guide your knee across your body. Scoot your left hip more to the left and allow your right hip to fall more to the right. Open your left arm to a T or to a cactus. Look to the left. Again, if your left knee is not touching your mat or touching the floor, just use a block to support it. And breathe.
Nice twist for the digestive system. Nice to wring out any tension that you might be holding in your stomach. Keep breathing. If you used a block, maybe you can remove your block and allow your knee to fall a little further toward the ground. Maybe lay it on the ground completely. Breathe. Gather your left knee into your chest. Right knee comes up to meet it. Rock side to side, equal out your spine. Take hold of your knees and pull them in. If you can grab your elbows, that's great. Otherwise, just rest your hands on your shins. Hug your knees in tightly. Inhale. Exhale, release to happy baby. Take hold of the insides or the outsides of your feet, maybe even the backs of your knees if that's too much. And rock side to side. Happy, blissful baby. Balasana. Extend your right leg long if that feels good. Maybe your left as well. Maybe both at the same time. And draw your knees back into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Gently press your forehead to your knees. Take an inhale, hug everything in. Exhale, Shavasana. Unwind, unfold. Get comfortable. What I like to do is take a blanket or 2 blocks if you have them handy and place them underneath your knees. If you'd like to rest your head on a block or a blanket, do so. Your arms are long by your sides, feet open out wide. Melt, rest. Allow your forehead to become soft, your jaw to unclench, and your eyelids to become heavy. Imagine all the stretching, the benefits of the strengthening, stretching, opening exercises you've just done, seeping into your body, filling it with goodness, rejuvenating it, renewing it, re-energizing it, and recharging. Try to be still in this posture. Resist the urge to fidget and move around. Give yourself this time to be silent and to be still. Allow your shoulders to melt into your mat.
your rib cage just sink in. Your pelvis, your thighs, your knees, calves, heels, feet and toes to become heavy, soft. Your biceps and your elbows, your forearms, your palms and your fingers are also heavy and still. Yogis, I invite you to stay in this pose for as long as you'd like. And if you're ready, take a deep breath in. Move your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up above you. Stretch out. Remove your blanket from under your knees. Draw your knees to your chest. Roll to your right side. Use your bicep as a pillow for your head. Press yourself to a seat. Draw your thumbs to your third eye center. This is the space between your eyebrows, the seat of your intuition. We bow to seal our practice in gratitude. Namaste.